Okay, you guys, I am back and I want to talk about the second episode from the Harry Tales. And this time the interview was with Issa Ray. It was so good. But before I get into it, first, I just want to say thank you so much for those of you that are tuning in into this live. If you're catching the replay, make sure you type replay in the comments. Let me know that you're here, you're joining, you're watching, so I can say hi to you. I always come back in the comments and respond to you all. So I would love to see you watching me. So, if you know that you have some hair issues and you need some guidance and you want to speak to a certified trichologist, which is someone that specializes in the study of the hair and scalp, and you just looking for a way forward in your hair growth journey, then make sure you click the link that will be in the description so that you can schedule a discovery call. I have opened up my calendar of November, so I'm going to be speaking with clients and taking on a few one. So if that is something that you're interested in, let's see how we can work together. Next, if this is your first time coming to my live, thank you so much. My name is Trichologist Precious Rutlin, and I teach hairstylists and consumers my 8-phase hair regrowth system so that they can have healthy hair. Over the years, what I learned is that the hairstylists are the forefront for their clients when it comes to taking care of the hair. So meaning they're the first to notice what's going on in the client's head. And so that was what prompted me to go down my path to get into trichology and holistic hair and wellness, because I myself lost hair on 2 occasions. And at the time that I lost hair, I couldn't find anyone to really help me, and I didn't know there was a such thing as a trichologist. So although I am a licensed cosmetologist, like I didn't have that extra education that I needed. Like I was learning things on my own as far as like what to do to restore my hair. And so once I figured out and got the proper training and education on what to do, then I also got into the complementary alternative health side of things because I wanted to take a holistic approach. I wanted to not only restore my hair, but also my health issues that I was having at the time, as well as when I was losing hair. I had high blood pressure. I was diagnosed pre-diabetes, obese. And so I had a lot of things I had to manage and get under control in order to restore my hair. And I knew, again, I wasn't going to do the whole medication thing. So I just took matters into my own hand and began to study and go get trained up and get educated. And so that is how I'm able today to service both the beauty professional as well as the consumer, and you all get back on the track what I mentioned earlier through my 8-phase hair regrowth system. So again, whether you are the hairstylist, the barber, beauty professional, and you have clients that are experiencing hair loss and you want to be able to help them to restore their hair loss naturally and done surgically, then I can help you. As well as if you are a consumer, you're tired of wearing the braids, the weaves, the wigs, and you want to be able to finally wear your natural hair, then I can definitely show you how to do that. But now I wanted to talk about the Harry Tales. And again, I love that Tracee Ellis Ross and Oprah show, the own show that they're putting on this, because this is a topic that is very much needed to talk about. There's a lot of stigmatism around the Black women, Black and brown women hair, and how we treat our hair, some of the styles, how we don't love our hair, and we'll try to cover it up and just don't really appreciate the beauty of it. And so I loved this particular episode when Issa Rae was talking about, Black women's hair has been known to be very high maintenance, like it's almost like just needy. And because of that, sometimes we can just feel insecure because, of course, our head texture is different from other races. And so you have to find the right hair tools, the right products. You have to care for it differently. And that's like what makes us unique. But it gets to a point like when we were growing up and you're trained, that your hair isn't beautiful, and then your parents may have forced upon you at some point a relaxer because they really didn't know about how to take care of your natural hair, or they do it a lot of straightenings, or maybe at the time pressing comb, so maybe relaxer or a pressing comb. And so I love that Issa Rae was just talking about, how she needed to learn to love her hair. But she also talked about, the years of abuse as far as like mentally, telling herself that she wasn't pretty because her hair wasn't straight. Like it wasn't straight like when you looked at the people on the magazines or some of the biggest stars that you looked up to, or if you went to a predominantly white school and your hair wasn't like the other girls, and so you would get fun and teased that, and then you wanted your hair to be straight so you can feel the same as them and look the same as them and wouldn't be made fun of. And so that was just like really good that Issa Rae just like brought out key points about that. So I really loved it. And I loved how she also talked about being tender-headed. And it was almost like we got reprimanded for being tender-headed, like you got blamed, like, your parent, like especially if your mother or your aunt or whoever was doing your hair, if you talk back or you try to express yourself and vocalize and say, hey, you're combing my hair too hard, or like you'll pull forward, they'll snatch your neck back. Like that was the biggest thing. Like I remember that so well, and I could really relate when Issa Rae was talking about that. Or even like the pressing comb, when it gets like too close to your ear, you could just hear the grease and the heat sizzling. I was like, oh my gosh, like all of this is just bringing back memories. And again, she was just talking about, you would get popped if you moved your head or you jerked because, you had to look nice and presentable for wherever you guys were going. And she brought up the saying that, beauty is pain. And I too can relate to that. I've heard that saying before. So if you've heard that saying before, just put in the comments, me too, because like I know you guys have been there, and it's like, we'll tend to sit in the chair for hours at the salon or the braid place, all because we want to beautify, but at the same time, like it hurts us, whether it's the hair is being braided so tight and you walk out the salon and like your eyes are just watery because it's so tight. But it's like, well, I just got this done, I just paid this money and I want to look nice and I want it to last. But it's like at the same time you're doing damage to your hair follicles, which you didn't know, at the time. But it's all for the vein of I want to look nice and I want to feel pretty and confident. Because once you get your hair done and you walk out that salon, baby, can't nobody tell you nothing. Do you hear me? So I just really loved how Issa Rae was just going in and she was just sharing her truths and what it was like coming up in school and living out in LA and just talking about, how the things that we've experienced with our hair as Black women, how it's attached to trauma. And so again, having those experience when we were younger with our hair, or even now as adults, when you have experience with your hair, is still attached to trauma. And I can relate to that because even as I'm doing like consultations and I'm talking to, private clients, they're just vulnerable and open up and share with me that, they've been to some stylists and, they didn't have good experience for whatever the reason. And, one of the reasons is, that their hair came out. So for instance, I had one client just mentioned to me that, she had quite a bit of healthy shoulder length hair, but then she's like, once I started going to the stylist, then I noticed that, my hair started getting shorter, shorter, thinning and thinning. And I was just like, that's unfortunate that that happened. But I was like, there's different factors as to why that could have happened. So, let's not just put that whole thing on the hairstylist because it's a partnership. So not only are the hairstylists helping you take care of your hair while you're there in the salon, but you also have to do your part as well when you go home and take care of it. So, it's just a whole care thing. And that's why you need partners with you as far as taking care of your hair. But I said all that to say is because when you have those traumas like that, for like the example that I just gave you, that when you leave the salon and you may have had a bad experience and now your hair has come out, you associate that with trauma now because now that's the experience that you remember. And now that happened to be a negative experience. So now the next time when you go to another stylist or you're looking for someone to help you, partner with you, or take care of your hair, now you're so skeptical because you don't know if the same thing is going to happen to you again, or you just don't know what to expect because now you don't know who to put your hair in their hands because you don't know how they're going to treat your hair. And then, like, for instance, as we were talking earlier, if you had bad experience coming up and again, you're tender headed, like all that just goes back to that trauma that you subconsciously have associated now with your hair. And so last but not least, because there's like so much that Issa Rae was talking about, so I have my notes here, but I'm not going to spoil it for those of you that haven't seen it, but I do encourage you to watch it so you can come back and comment and talk to me about the episode. So I would love to have a deep discussion about this. But she also mentioned about the intimacy, like with our hair, and just how sacred it is for us. And because like our hair, we get to wear our different styles, and that's just how we express ourselves. And it's unfortunate, again, like I said, when you have these traumatic experiences and then you don't know who to trust, because now it's like your sacredness has been, what's the word I'm trying to find? I guess violated? Maybe that's the word that I'm looking for. But so again, it all goes back to saying that you definitely do need a partner with you on your hair journey, no matter where you are, especially if you're looking to grow your hair, revive your hair, and restore your hair. And so I had a client, her name was Catherine, and so she too ended up finding me, doing a Google search. And so just like now, I had opened up my calendar and she happened to do a complimentary consultation or discovery call. And we got on the call like this, and we just talked about what her hair needs are and what her goals are, because in her particular case, she had been struggling with hair loss for 7 years, and it was mainly in the crown, where her hair was just thinning, it was just widening, the gap. And so she just knew that she too needed to do something different, or else it was just going to get worse. So she too had health conditions, as well. And so she mentioned that to me, and so she could relate to what I was talking about. And so she got the help that she needed. You know, she ended up working with me. I think we worked together for 6 months, and within that 6 months time frame, you know, we were able to get her hair to grow back in healthy. The middle part of her crown started filling in. That gap was definitely less, and now she's at the point to where she can wear her natural hair and feel confident about it, or if she decides to wear like braids, like some crochet styles, she's able to do that. But the key is she's not glued down to or have to wear a weave or a wig. Like, she doesn't have to. Like, that's now optional and possible for her. And so again, if that is something that you would like to have and possibly see if that's possible for you, then I'm going to invite you to look in that description, click that link to get on my calendar. I have some spots open for the month of November. So I would love for you to get on a 30-minute call with me. So what you'll do is you'll go to the link in the description, you'd answer some questions, and then from there you put yourself on the calendar, and we'll hop on a call like this. We'll do a video call, and we'll see what your needs are, and then based on your needs, we will see which program will work best for you. Okay, guys, this is all that I have. Please join me in the next episode, because I want to talk about the next episode. It was one of the big ones with, I believe, Ayanna Presley. And so that was a really big one. So again, join me back here for our next commentary on the hair tales. Talk to you soon.